It's important to keep your tools sharp because then you'll make a clean cut on the plant, bush, roses, whatever. A clean cut will mean that the wound will heal very nicely. If you're using dull blades, then they can smush and you get an uneven. And this will not heal as well as if you have a nice sharp tool and get this kind of a cut. So this is a large sharpening stone. Sometimes they come with a handle, sometimes they don't. This is what you can often find at a hardware store, and it will work, but it's awfully big. There are such things as diamond sharpeners that work just fine. There are lots of different kinds of sharpening stones. Different sizes, different shapes. They all work to varying degrees. A really fine stone like this or this may take longer than a rougher stone like this. You use them with oil. This happens to be a sharpening stone oil, but you could use sewing machine oil or any machine oil, or I've even used olive oil. You just need a lubricant that will help carry the little metal particles away. A rag, always handy. This would be a dull blade. You can even see some little nicks in this. You can tell it's not in great shape because it's rusty. This is a bypass clipper, which is the sort that we recommend. It has one bevel. These are also bypass, but these have two bevels. These are just little nippers. Here's a bevel, we turn it over, and here's a bevel. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply a little bit of oil right along the edge of the bevel. Right there. Here's my stone, a little bit of oil on it too. I'm going to line this up with the edge of the bevel like this. Sometimes it's easy just to rock it up like that. And then I'm going to go back and forth, following the angle of the bevel all the way around. You can see a little bit of grit in there, and that's the metal being carried in the oil. Both helps sharpen as well as carries away the metal. Back and forth like this, etching the bevel. Flip it over. Put a tiny bit of oil on the back. And you can see where the metal has been pushed off the edge. There's a little bit of oil and some of the metal, so we want to make sure that that gets removed. So just go back and forth, using a flat side of the stone. So back and forth like this to keep it smooth. Come back around. And depending on how dull your clippers are, determines how long you have to do this. If you get them really sharp, and keep them sharp by giving them a little once over before or after every time you clip, you will not have to do this a lot. You're just going to be keeping it nice and sharp. Keeping your clippers sharp will make sure that you have healthier plants. Okay. Now along to the back. You can see the edge again there. And for good measure, we're going to go over the bypass part. Same thing, flat of the stone. That just takes off any burrs that may have developed. Wipe them off. And you can see this is nice and shiny now. All right, so after this has gotten nice and sharp, and you don't see any big, huge divots, of course you want to test it on a branch. or stem of something. And then you want to add just a drop or two of oil to the joints. That keeps it moving nicely, easier on your hands. And you can always put a little bit on the spring for this kind. And then you have a pair of clippers that sort of look a little worse for the wear, but you actually have a nice sharp edge there. So even if your clippers look rusty and yucky, you can still get a sharp edge. All right, let me show you what to do with clippers with two bevels. Basically, it's the same principle. We're going to put a little oil right along the edge and go. Same principle. Set this up at the angle of the bevel. I'm just going to go back and forth like this. Again, following the edge of the bevel. Turning them over, looking on the flat side. We'll go to the other bevel, add a little more oil. Flat side. There you go.